have a great recipe for the vanilla. It's super easy. And I'll post, I'll post like a little video of how to make the vanilla. The big thing is get a really good quality vanilla bean, okay? So, and then it's just time. It just takes time. That's all it does. This one is almost 6 months old. So the longer it sits, the better it is. So definitely give it a try, but I'll post it later on for everyone to be able to see. So we're gonna keep adding this dry ingredients here. And we're almost done. Now, like I said, I preheated my oven to 325, so that is all ready to go. And if you wanted to incorporate, like I said, this is gonna be plain zucchini bread for me, okay? If you wanted to put in some chocolate chips, I recommend probably about a half to 3/4 of a cup of chocolate chips. If you want, it depends on how chocolatey you want it. If you want to add some walnuts, again, probably half a cup of walnuts would be appropriate for this recipe. So kind of gauge it however you want as far as if you really like a lot of walnuts in your bread or if you like just a hint of them, okay? So I'm going to kind of set this up. Oh, I need this one. Set this stuff off to the side. And the last thing that we're going to put in is the zucchini. But first what I want to do is I want to make sure that all the mix is really well mixed, okay? Now this is going to be really thick. Don't be alarmed because it's going to look almost like cookie dough, all right? It's going to be really thick because the moisture in the zucchini is going to break this mix down in no time as soon as you put it in, okay? So I'm going to go ahead, while that's mixing, it's almost there, it's almost ready. I'm going to go ahead and spray my 2 pans. Now I've got just 2 regular glass bread pans here. And I'm going to give them a generous spray. Now you can flour these as well. And as a matter of fact, I probably will flour them before I go ahead and I dump that mix in there. Just so that they, it will not stick as much. Okay, so I'm going to let that set for a minute and then I'll flour them. But this looks perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. And now what I'm going to do, let me get the paddle out of the way. There we go. Is I've got a 1 cup measuring cup here. And this is just some shredded zucchini that I had gone ahead and shredded in my food processor. And it's been sitting in my fridge now. I drained this out. I wrung it out. Wrung as much moisture out as I could because there's still going to be lots of moisture left in the zucchini pulp itself. And what I did also is I put in a teaspoon of lemon juice into it. It kind of helped extract some of the juice, but not a ton, but it also keeps it nice and fresh in the refrigerator, okay? And shredded zucchini lasts quite a while in the refrigerator, so you don't have to worry. I think this is like, I don't know, week and a half old, maybe. It's been sitting in my fridge. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put in 2 generous cups of zucchini into my mix. Here's 1. And depending on how much is in here, I may just throw the rest in because it looks like this was about 2 cups left. I think I had 4 cups in here and I made some zucchini bread about a week and a half ago. So I think this was left over. So this is about another 1/4 cup or so. So guess what? It's all going in there. There it is. Perfect. All right. So maybe I'll just kind of shake this in. Perfect. Zucchini bread is so delicious. All right, so I'm just going to give this a quick stir. Now you can hand stir this part if you want to, but as soon as this gets all incorporated, instantly the mix just kind of melts on you. Okay, so you've had like a really tough doughy consistency after everything was mixed in, and then as soon as you put the zucchini in, it just melts with all of the moisture of the zucchini. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put in a little bit of flour into my, you can use a teaspoon, tablespoon, whatever you want. I just use the scoop that's in my flour container. And I probably always use too much, but I would rather have too much than have to add like more later on. And I just kind of tap it, tap around the little glass dishes here. And then the excess can go right into the next bread pan. Now you want to generously do this. Like I said, I do like to flour them just so that they don't stick. And then the excess I'll kind of tap back into this measuring cup I've got sitting in my sink. And I'll discard that. Okay, so I've got my pans all floured, all sprayed. They're ready to go. My mix is ready to go, and I want to show you the consistency of this now that the zucchini is all put in there, all like mixed up and incorporated. It looks wonderful. So you're going to be able to see it. It just looks so delicious. Now, at this time, this is when you would add your chocolate chips or your walnuts or whatever else you wanted to add to it as an extra, okay? And I recommend that you hand stir that in. Don't use I wouldn't use the mixer on that, just because you wouldn't want to beat down the chocolate. If you added chocolate, especially chocolate chips, you wouldn't want to beat that into the mixture and turn it more into a chocolate zucchini bread, like completely chocolate. I guess unless you really wanted chocolate zucchini bread. But I would recommend just kind of hand stirring that in there. And then that way, those chocolate chips stay nice and whole. And you can kind of get a better experience as far as that goes. So I'm going to do equal parts. I'm going to give this a quick stir just to make sure that everything is off the bottom and in the sides of the bowl. If you wanted to scrape this down as you went and as you mix, that would be fine. But the thing is that I find that everything incorporates pretty well in my stand mixer with this type of mix. In some mixes, you have to scrape down the bowl halfway through. I find that this incorporates really well, just the way that it is. So equal amounts go in each pan. Now, if you wanted to get fancy and weigh it out, you definitely can. I eyeball it, so it's up to you. And if you're like, have to be completely exact, you can do that. I'm exact on some things. Other things, I just wing it. All right. So we went to, our anniversary was last weekend, and we went to Vermont for our anniversary. It was so much fun. We had a blast, and I was able to go to one of my most favorite stores over there, King Arthur Flour. Hence, got my hat. See my hat? Isn't it so cute? So I love that store so much, and they have so many great things in there, like little cooking gadgets, and they have, you know, some baking mixes and things that I love to try. I love to try, and then I go through my cookbook, my King Arthur cookbook that I have, and like I look up the recipe and then I try to like copy it, and it's like I never can get it perfect, you know, as like some of those that they have. I don't know if they have tricks or something like that they're not telling us. I don't know. I doubt it, but you never know. You never know. So anyway, it was so much fun. We had a blast, and I just love being in there. Okay, so I have got equal amounts. Oops, looks like I got some on the side. We don't want that to burn, so I'm going to take that off. So I have equal amounts here of the zucchini bread mix. Again, my oven is preheated. It's ready to roll, 325. I'm going to pop these in, and they're going to cook for about 45 minutes. Now I'm going to check them at the 35-minute mark, just to make sure that they're all set. Now, when a toothpick or cake tester, or if just a plain butter knife works too, you stick that in there and it comes out pretty much clean, then you know that they're done. Turn the oven off, bring them out. So when you come back in about 45 minutes or so, we'll have some zucchini bread for you to see. So don't go away. All right, we're back. The bread has just come out of the oven. It's been setting for about 5 or 10 minutes. You want to definitely let it set and cool. And before you serve this, completely let it cool, okay? So I just wanted to show you the finished product here. They came out nice and clean. It took this time it took about 50 minutes, so it took about an extra 5 minutes. So depending on how moist your batter is, or maybe how wet it is, it may take a little bit longer for you. So I checked it at the 40-minute mark, and it's still, the knife, when I pulled it back out, still had some stuff on it, like a little bit of batter. So I stuck it back in there for another 10 minutes, and it was perfect. So what I usually do is I'm just going to run a knife around the edges of the bread pan here, just to kind of break it free, just in case that any little pieces might have stuck a little bit, and that definitely helps it come out of the pan a lot easier. So I just gently kind of run my knife. And the good thing about using a glass dish is that you don't, if you had a Teflon pan or something, you wouldn't scrape it. You could probably use a spatula or something like that if you only had a Teflon bread pan there. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this out nice and gentle. Oh my goodness, the smell is amazing. Woo! It's very, very warm, everybody. This is just perfect. So I hope you like this recipe. These are gonna sit and cool for a couple of hours before we break into them. Probably won't break into them until tonight. So it's almost like a dessert for us. We just love it so much, especially with some butter. It's just perfect. So try the recipe at home. Super easy. You'll be able to do it, no problem at all. 2 loaves, it'll last you a day. No, just kidding. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and don't forget, whatever you do, you make it with love. We'll see you next time.